the best value contracts. They're a big kind of a money ball team. They're very proud of the players who outperform the contracts they've given them. Who are the principal players who fit that description?
Well, let's go back and forth so that we don't take each other. I have 5. So if you take one of mine, I can throw somebody else in. I think number 1, we're going to agree here. It's 100% Brock Purdy.
Number 13. Yeah,
it's gotta be.
He's the biggest bargain in the league.
He's already outplayed the deal. Even if he doesn't play another snap in the NFL ever, he's outplayed his deal. So 100% Brock Purdy.
Right, because there's never been a Mr. Irrelevant who's been like this successful ever.
No, never. Ever. So that's the easy one. Let's get that one out of the way. You go ahead and give us one.
I was going to go with Brock Purdy. So I'm going to have to, of course, say Ross Dwelly. No, Jordan Mason. Seriously, Jordan Mason, another undrafted free agent. Sure, running backs are a dime a dozen. You don't have to spend that much on them, but I mean, him and Elijah Mitchell. Elijah Mitchell's hurt a lot, but I'm going to say Jordan Mason. I mean, they're basically not paying him. He's like pledging. He's pledging. Yeah. Maybe next year I'll be in the yeah.
But Sigma Alpha Niner. Jordan Mason. There we go.
Real quick, did you see the tight end footage today?
A little bit, yeah. I saw the Trey Lance interviewing people and
doesn't it kind of feel like
impression?
Were you in a fraternity?
No.
He said with like of course, look at me. Why was I in a fraternity? I was in a fraternity. It was a phase, and you'd have these parties. That's tight end you, and you'd have like the pledges as like waiters you don't pay. Going around, would you like a drink, miss? Would you like a drink? And it's like, yeah, why don't you get her a drink, man? And it's like, that's what Trey Lance felt like there at tight end. You was like, hey, man, why don't you throw me this 5-yard pass? Why don't you go up to Rob Gronkowski and like kiss his butt? It's like, did you really need NFL quarterbacks to be throwing you these passes? Couldn't you have gotten literally anyone in the world? I could have done that.
Yeah, it was, at least from what we saw, of course, we don't see everything, but it definitely seems like a get together. But that's neither
here nor there.
But it was interesting because Trey Lance he kind of played the George Kittle role, like what George Kittle would do if, you know what I mean? He's going to go up and interview everybody. Like, what about the quarterback day? That was a total George Kittle setup. Come on.
And Kittle was like, well, we talk about quarterbacks all the time, which was the most honest thing this dude has said on the record in years. We're going off topic here, but I want to talk about this. That's the whole point of the Niners culture on the team and tight end you. We don't like the fact that it's a quarterback-driven league. So we're going to be the one team in the league that makes our quarterback a freaking pledge and makes everyone else more important, and we're going to win the unconventional way. Like, guys, I don't think that it's going to happen. One of these quarterbacks is going to have to be special for you to be special. But the Niners, George is, in a lot of ways, the voice of the team, and I think there's a big chip on his shoulder, the tight end, middle linebacker. Oh, everyone wants to talk about the quarterback, and I think that's why Trey's been put through the gauntlet, man. Oh, you just got anointed? 3 first-round picks? You think you're special? You think you're special? Not here! I'm special! I play tight end!
You got to wonder what George Kittle thinks, though, when he has conversations with Kelsey, and obviously Mahomes is going to be brought up in those conversations. Then it's a small glimpse, but you see Josh Allen up close. It's like, man, these guys are... we think we have it good. Those guys have it good. It's a whole different ballgame over there. So I don't know. I don't know how he thinks about that, but I'd be a little jealous.
Yeah. I before we get back to our topic, this tight end you thing has been making me laugh. So it's been going on like, was it the third year? At first it was like, this is great. He's raising awareness for a marginalized group in society. This is wonderful. But now it's like, wait. Like, what is the point? It just feels like you're hijacking the news cycle at the end of June because nothing's going on. It's a great photo opportunity, but like, what are you actually doing other than schmoozing? And you know what it sounds like? Have you ever heard the term hobnobbing?
Yes.
This hobnobbing. I'm gonna be in the Hamptons in a few weeks, and my friend that I grew up with in Oakland like runs the Hamptons. He's like a real estate dude out there. And I was like, man, can you get me a spot for like 4 nights? And he was like, yeah. I just need to, I gotta ask you some questions. Are you there to vacation? Are you there to hobnob? I was like, the fuck does hobnob mean? Like, I'm from Oakland. We don't hobnob out here. It's like, okay. That's what I thought. So like hobnob means like intentionally running into famous people.
Yeah.
I don't know how I got in that.
Yeah. I don't know. This one might go over a lot of people's heads, but I remember when Conor McGregor was going to fight Nathan Diaz for the first time, and Conor McGregor had this movement coach, and they would do all this weird looking movement in the park. And Nate Diaz at the press conference is like, "Yeah, you're going to play more touch butt in the park." That's what this feels like.
Yep, pretty much.
They're playing touch butt.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, just played a bunch of grab ass. It's a bunch of grab ass for 3 days, and they meet each other, exchange numbers. It's great for the tight ends. It just feels like Kittle flexing. Like, yeah, I'll bring my quarterbacks. They got to do what I say. I run this team. Like, yeah, I'll bring my guys. Like, dude, you could have brought the high school quarterback in Nashville. He would have been stoked to do it, and he was there. But instead, you made Trey. Like, Trey could have been working out with Jeff Christensen this week.
Yeah, I would say that would be more important for Trey.
That would be really great for Trey.
Yeah.
But no, he had to. You see the clips? Like, great. Here you go, George.
It's all right. George came up and gave him a good look. He patted him on the elbows and made it seem tough for him. So that was good.
Great.
I'll say this about tight end U just real quick, because I don't know how good it is for the quarterbacks, but for the tight ends, he is setting up something good because he's getting a lot of names out there. It seems like young tight ends that are coming up through college really enjoy going through this. And yes, it's probably nothing more than a big fraternity, but he's getting these people noticed. So I will say it's doing some good. I don't know what the hell Trey Lance has to be there for, though. I see why he passed up on it last year. I'll just say that.
Yeah. It's like a waste of time. I'm waiting for one tight end ever to say that he improved or he got paid or he got drafted because of tight end U. What one? I'm waiting for that day. Man, this changed my life. I was just cruising along. I was in the right lane. My life was going nowhere. My career was going nowhere. Then I went to tight end U. I heard George Kittle speak for 15 minutes about his release. I was like, oh my God. Now I make $15 million a year. Thank you, George Kittle. Like, it's like an Everest College commercial. Like, what are you doing? You doing nothing? You just sitting around doing nothing? Come to tight end university.
I'd say it's probably better for those young kids to get a glimpse with like Kelsey or Gronkowski or Greg Olsen, maybe those types of guys.
You ain't doing shit. You're sitting home. You're doing shit. You're not eating grilled cheese sandwiches. Why don't you come down to tight end university? All right. Make something of yourself. Teach you how to block a little bit, run some routes.
It's like Monsters University, but in real life. I love it.
Yeah. All right. So, okay, back to the topic. 3 best, best value contract. Yeah. Jordan Mason, Brock Purdy.
Talanoa Hufanga.
Ooh.
2 years, $930K annual value. I think that's a pretty damn good contract for a guy that was an all-pro last year.
Yeah, I'd have to say that's a great call. I should have went with him over Jordan Mason. Okay. All right. Okay. How about Aaron Banks for 1.9?
Oh, you stole my next one.
That's a nice one. I mean, he's a solid starting left guard who could be even better this year. And he's making nothing. A little bit more than nothing.
Yeah, 1.8. It's pretty damn good. Good.
Yeah, I'll take it. After
this
taxes,
next one.
Though?
Yeah.
In California,
this next one is a little bit higher, Grant. It's not going to be in the super cheap range, but it's still I think the value is there for this player, especially because it's a 3-year deal at this annual value. 5.3 million annual value, Dre Greenlaw. Mm-hmm. They got him on a steal. Remember, they extended him right after the Bears game where he played pretty bad, actually. Yeah. So they got him on a really good deal, and then he almost turned into an all-pro last year. I think he was 1 vote away from being an all-pro himself. So I think that's a really, really good deal, especially to have it for 3 years.
Love that. Yes, good call. Who else we got? Cleveland Farrell? No. Well, obviously Brandon Ayuk. He's going to get paid big money, but $3.9 million for Brandon Ayuk, like he's cheaper than Javon Kinlaw. He's cheaper than Sam Darnold.
Yeah,
he's cheaper than Juszczyk. Cheaper than Juszczyk, dog. Cheaper than Lance.
Crazy.
3 times as cheap as Trey Lance. I mean, Brandon Ayuk. I sincerely hope that Kyle Shanahan does right by Ayuk. And so far, Kyle has come through for every one of his weapons in a contract year. Deebo, you need to get paid. I got you. Kittle, you need to get paid. I got you. It's Ayuk's turn. They keep saying that he's like next in line to have a breakout year. All he needs is the freaking targets, and that's on Kyle. So please, Kyle, he earned it.
He's not on these Cabo clicks, so I'm curious to see how it plays out. I'm sure they'll get him paid, but I don't know.
I can see Brandon being the kind of guy being like, No, I don't want to go. No, I don't want to go. He's just kind of like antisocial in a way that I like.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
that.
he is.
I don't know.
But
not a self-promoter, not a politician. I love that. I love Brandon. I don't even think he likes me, but I like Brandon Ayuk.
I mean, how can you not like Brandon Ayuk?
I love that man.
Yeah,
great guy.
He's incredible, and he does have a lot of Jimmy Ward qualities, which I know you love Jimmy Ward. So that makes a lot of sense.
Independent thinker, but I also like Jimmy Ward was cool. Jimmy Ward always had a smile. He's a killer on the field, but you never know it. Like Brandon Ayuk is mad all the time, and I don't know why, but I love it. He just walks around pissed off. It's so cool. That's what I think. Certain football players, like that's a persona in football. And I just love that he embodies that. Like, nah, fuck this. Like, he was the guy that got in Fred Warner's face. Like, I don't like the way you've been acting the last few days. Now you got to deal with me. He's like 40 pounds smaller than Fred Warner, and he had no fear. I love this man. Love this guy. I want to be Brandon Ayuk when I grow up.
It's almost like if Deebo wasn't on this team or Deebo didn't exist. Now, Deebo gets his name because of the way he plays, but Brandon Ayuk
Deebo.
Could be Deebo, like just the way he acts, exactly. The way he carries himself.
Deebo gets the name because he like how he runs after the catch and he's tough to tackle. But just in terms of like the angry surliness, like bullying, it's Ayuk. Like Deebo's kind of he's I don't know, like I don't know what is. Deebo
but he
wants
also
people to
got
like
a lot
him.
of his personality from Emmanuel Sanders. True. Because remember, Emmanuel Sanders was on this team. He was kind of his mentor. So now he does, listens to the music and dances in the huddles. That's just his style. So
good point. And Sanders is very polished.
Just like Fred Warner, though. Like Fred Warner and Greenlaw, they got it from Quan Alexander. Fred Warner was not this guy before Quan Alexander. Quan Alexander, I think we as fans, you don't care, but we as fans really should thank Quan Alexander. I know that he was kind of a bust in terms of what they paid him and brought him in, but as far as the swagger he brought to those young linebackers, I think that still exists because of him.
Back to Brandon Ayuk. One of the more things I like about him, he chooses his words very carefully when he answers questions. He doesn't just give out cliches. He doesn't just spit out the first thing that comes to his mind. You can see him saying, "What should I say? How should I say this?" You got to appreciate anyone who answers a question like that. Man, Brandon, if you're watching, I would love your autograph. I'm just kidding.
It's probably because he knows if he spits it out the way he actually wants to say it, it might cause some trouble. So he's like,
which is why I love this man. It's like, oh, you got your own perspective? Nice. I love it.
I think we might know, not necessarily, but if they give him a captain's patch this year, then we know where this is headed. He's going to get paid big
practice, hasn't missed a game. How could you not give him? How could you not?
I agree.
How could you not? I would like to see that. All right. Who else this year?
I couldn't think of any
cap
more.
Number is 3.4. That's crazy.
Who?
I don't know what. McCaffrey's cap number this year is 3.4. Is that real?
Yeah, I was looking at average value. Yeah, his average is 10.6, but for this year it was a low number.
That's true. How about Mitch Wishnowsky? I mean, wow.
Wow, Mitch.
Wow. When Tabor Pepper, no, that's got to be the worst contract on the team. No offense to Tabor, but they're giving him he's making three times what Brock Purdy's making. I mean, Tabor Pepper's making.
What's his cap number?
1.2 plus 1.2.
Wow, Tabor, man. Gee, get paid.
Yeah. He's making more than Ross Dwelly, Charlie Warner, Spencer. He's making more than Spencer Burford. Making more than Lenore.
I would say Burford's a good contract too.
Burford's cap number is 1 million. Freaking Tabor's is 1.2. Man, you got to love that guy, man.
That's crazy.
They should do an MTV Cribs with Tabor Pepper.
He's actually a really good personality, man. I've had him on before, and he's funny. He's a really funny dude. I'll give him credit for that.
Yeah. Yeah, he tried to get my credential pulled after the thing with Kinlaw, though. But I'm not going to hold that against him, though.
Oh, okay. I don't remember.
I'm not going to hold it against him. I mean, hey, no one's perfect. We got Wishnowsky. We got.
I think that's it for me. Yeah.
I think that's. Okay. Nee says Tight End U also is a fundraiser. 2022, they raised $681,000 to support Boys and Girls Clubs of America. That is great. That is great. And that just further confirms that it's a fraternity party. I mean, that's what we did. We said it was for a good cause. And it was.
LeBron James raised a lot when he had his decision. I'll say that.
I wasn't the social chair, but there was always some type of charity involved. I think that's how I mean, fraternities are charitable organizations, right? It's all for a good cause.
Yeah,
Jewish guy says, I finally figured out how to super chat. Thank you. That was very generous. Jewish guy says, BA and the new kicker. Moody. Yeah.
New kicker. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see if he's a good value. You got to kick in the regular season first.
He's supposed to be the discount value of Robbie Gould, but we'll have to see how that goes. He kicked a 63-yarder in practice, though, Jesse.
That's true.